First, let me say a very happy new year to you all from myself and from everyone here at Technical Connection. More mundanely, I'd like to just update you on the latest following the finance bill clauses on the taxation of chargeable gains under life assurance policies, chargeable gains on part surrenders and part assignments, that is. Now, since the Juiced Lobler case and the subsequent issue of the consultation, there had been a general expectation that there would be something done about disproportionately high chargeable events that can arise when you take a part encashment from a policy where the amount that you encash is above the allowable 5% and exceeds the economic gain standing inside the policy. Now, this usually happens in the early years of a policy's life, or just when a policy hasn't performed that well, but someone needs to take out what could be considered an excessively high surrender and does it in a way that isn't cashing in whole policies, but takes an encashment, a part encashment, across all of the policy segments. So we had the consultation and we have had the responses. And in the consultation, remember, there were three choices put forward to the sector by HMRC for a new way, basically. There was a provision, number one, basically to have only a proportionate amount of gains that represented the economic gain taxable. Then there was a deferment provision, deferring the taxation of an excessive gain. And then there was the provision that most accepted, and I've referred to it before as being the most appealing one, and that was where if you invest in a policy, life insurance policy, typically a bond, then until you withdrew an amount exceeding 100% of the amount that you put into the policy, then you would not have a chargeable event gain. Everyone thought that would be great, that's an easy way to go, and we'll go with that. Well, as it's turned out, the majority of the responses to consultation said, do we really need to change anything? This only happens, these excessive gains only happen in a relatively few cases, so why change a system that everyone knows and could almost say loves? HMRC have agreed with that, and so what we have now encapsulated in the finance bill clauses is that an individual policyholder will be able to apply to HMRC within 2 years of the end of a policy year where an excessive gain, a disproportionately high gain arises. They can apply for that gain to be recalculated on what's called a just and reasonable basis. So basically, the provisions that we've all known and loved and worked with for many years remain with us in exactly the same way. The 5% rule operates in exactly the same way. There is just this default provision that if you have unwittingly triggered an excessive chargeable gain on making a part surrender or a part assignment, you can apply to HMRC to recalculate the gain on a just and reasonable basis. We cover this, as you'd expect, in some detail in the Techlink bulletins. I'd encourage you to have a look.